Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Yeah.
Oh, hello, and happiest of Fridays to you. This is Run It Back. My name is Michelle, Boogie, Chandler, Lou. God, I see it once again on bright colors on the end, and thank you, Lou. Thank you, Lou, for not doing these.
Maybe we should coordinate.
Coordinate. Don't make me do that. But you guys won't change it up. Are you going to change it up?
No, we're too sweaty. We got to stick with black.
Okay, well, there's now the secret's out. Welcome. We got some basketball. We've got Sam AMICK, Kobe Sanders coming up later on in the show. Full day for us here, but first we start with the Battle of Los Angeles. All right, Clippers on a little tear here. 112-104 win. Kawhi returns 24-9-19. He had 26 minutes out there. Ivica Zubac. 18 points, 19 rebounds. Doncic, 32, 11, and 8. All right, the big story, by the way, unfortunately, I hate this, is that bust report thing is still out there and floating around. And, of course, everybody that was at this game as a media member had to ask LeBron about it. He said he doesn't care what anybody thinks about him at this stage of the game.
I told y'all that.
Chandler? But you don't believe that, though, right?
I do, because he's... Outside of being LeBron James, he's a 40-plus-year-old man. I'm 39, and my care less card is running low on cares. So, like, when it comes to these little things like this, it's just another day in the park. That's what I was trying to say, but...
I agree. I don't think the article... I don't think it altered his perception of the Lakers or wanting to leave or anything like that. But when you do an interview like that, then I started questioning it last night. I'm like, okay, clearly he was a little...
You can care a little.
And again, it's normal to care. I just don't think he cares that much to, like, request a trade or the things we were talking about yesterday. But the everyone's crazy thing and all the passive aggressiveness was a little interesting. But, like, at the end of the day, I agree with Lou that I think this is really... nothing and just a bad timing of an article that came out at a really, really strange opportunity time, and it was just awkward. I don't think it changes anything with the dynamic of him and that front office or that franchise or the new ownership or anything.
Can we admit there are levels to caring, right? Like, if I say somebody doesn't care about something, there's the wake up in the morning is the first thing they think about it, but it can also be like, yeah, I don't mess with you anymore, and that is a level of caring, and I do think maybe that added to that a little bit.
I don't think so. Like I said the other day, at the end of the day, it's only one person that revealed their true character, and that was Jeannie. So I agree with Lou. I don't think he cares to an extent. This is something that will eventually get swept under the bridge, and then at the end of the day, they don't really have to deal with each other anymore. So it's no point to really care. You know what I mean? It would be. I think it would be a different situation if they were still in that ownership role. Like, I think that changes the dynamic. But now, moving forward, they don't have to work together. So it's not really much to carry on further with that. You know what I mean? So
it can change the dynamic if you do run into each other. Like, oh, that's what you think?
I think it can make for a little awkward moment
Correct.
In the hallway, but it's also like one conversation, you clear the air, and you could either choose to move on or not. And again, I don't think this is anything, especially given her new role and the sell of the team and everything like that. So
none of this changes basketball.
It doesn't change anything with this current team or him wanting to leave in the free agency next, or him having a player option. I don't think it changes anything.
Like, his decision was already made, because here's why I asked that. Because he was also asked if he wanted to finish his career here in Los Angeles, and here's his response.
Is this where you want to finish this season?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Last two.
Everybody's crazy. Everybody's crazy. I'm gone. See y'all later.
Bye. Well, love the hoodie. Secondly, I'm good is interesting, Lou. I'm good. That's not really the
very open-ended. Very open-ended.
I'm gonna say passive aggressive.
Yeah, very, very open-ended. But I will say this is consistent. Every time the conversation has come up about LeBron James going to another team or what's his next move gonna be. He's typically kept his cards close to his chest in all of these situations. So this is no different for me. So again, over 23 years, nothing has changed as far as how LeBron James, his representation, has always addressed these type of things when it's come up. So.
Also, it's January 22nd after a loss in the locker room. You're asking about his future with the team.
Tough timing.
Who cares? Like, it's such a random time to ask that question in the middle of a season after a loss.
Because of this report.
Obviously, the story, but it's I think he's just, I'm good. Like, I don't want to give a headline, yes or no. Like, I don't want to even give this any more attention. So whatever I say is going to be taken out of context anyway. So I'm good and buzz off.
And
That's exactly what I got from it.
I'm sorry. Can I ask about the article? Because I'll be honest, I didn't read it. I wasn't interested in it. Is the article about LeBron James?
No. It's about the Bus family drama.
Yeah.
Correct. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So again,
and by the way,
Well, all those details about those situations we talked about
but
yesterday.
can I tell you this for
So
context?
exposed.
The LeBron Bronny stuff is actually really towards the end of the article. So it really is an article about the Bus stuff.
So again,
But it's because
for
it's
48
LeBron.
hours,
Correct.
this has been about LeBron.
Well, it
You know
gets
what I mean?
aggregated and it's not.
So if I'm him, I'm taking this same approach as well.
Yeah, I
good.
agree with Chandler as far as I took what I took from this response was somebody that's not trying to add fuel to the fire, trying to bury this and just keep moving forward. Like you said, we're not even at All-Star break, so it's a lot of season left. So to add this distraction to a team that's kind of already, somewhat filled with distractions, I think he did the right thing. Don't really, fuel this fire and move on with it.
What is that hoodie? What is everybody? Is that a thing? Like a brand? What is? I like that. I want that hoodie. Okay, so
That
let's.
was a dope hoodie.
It was really good.
Probably
Let's-
from H&M or something. Who knows?
That's what I'm saying. I'll look it up.
We'll order some.
So the 8-game road trip is coming up, and
I'm going to order 3.
what is wrong with you, Lisa? I don't know what you're saying to me. I'm just going to tell you that right now, because yeah. Anyway, so here we go. 8-game road trip. You got JJ Redick reiterating. We got the Austin Reeves situation that he is going to return at some point on this upcoming road trip. We know that they're in a weird place, the Lakers right now. Boogie, I'll start with you. How much does this fix that?
I don't think it fixes it at all. I think it's
Jeez.
the same, issues moving forward. I think the same conversations will, come out of Austin Reeves returning. This guy doesn't fit. These 3 guys don't work. It'll be the same conversation, the same narrative. I think the glaring issue with the Lakers are obviously the defense. So I'm not saying the Lakers won't be better with their other star returning, but it doesn't fix the issues of the team, is what I'm saying. So, yeah, I don't see him helping us.
Yeah, and depending on what they do at the deadline, if they do go and get one of those versatile wing defenders, I don't know how much help they can get there because they are who they are right now, and this is exactly what they've been all season long. And yes, Austin Reeves will provide more of an offensive bang there. You can unload a little bit on Luka and have a little bit less heavy ISO, but he kind of does the same thing, and he plays the same way. So it's going to be the same style offense mixed in with LeBron James. I think they should play faster. Like Jared Vanderbilt was great last night, and defensively they need more production like that out of him, where he was like a plus 15, 16 last night, just kind of doing all the little things, getting in passing lanes. But they need more players just to play their role and play harder and play faster, I think. But the team alone it is what it is.
By the way, that's on me. That is last night was game 2 of the 8-game road trip. Because it was in LA, it didn't even cross my mind. They have 6 games left on this thing.
Oh, that was a road game.
It's that was technically a road game. So can we throw that schedule up there? Because I'm kind of, you know how much I love doing this. That's a long road trip.
It's favorable.
It's very favorable.
Eesh.
Favorable.
Mavs is fun. That's a good
I
one.
see them going. Listen, I'll say 5-1.
5-1.
Wow.
4-2 at worst.
What's the loss, Knicks?
4-2,
Cavs.
5-1.
Cavs, Knicks.
But it gets tricky on the road, so.
It is a long one.
know.
And they got a long time in New York. That's a
counts.
nice little.
But yeah, on a personal level, that's a
Yeah, it's a
great
hell of a
road
trip.
Yeah, like,
Pull that
That
back
gives
up
me
there.
flashbacks right there. That is a great road trip right there.
That is a good trip.
okay, there you go.
Lock
Thumbs
in,
up.
fellas. Business trip. Business trip.
Let's talk a little Clippers, which is fair.
The winning team.
They did win the game. Best record in the league since December 20th. They are 14-3. And the mountain is big, Lou. You literally said that right before we came on the screen here. But what are they showing you? Is this real? Can they really make a good push here?
Yeah, they're connected. And if I'm the Clippers, I'm just keeping my head down and I'm focusing one game at a time. And I'm not really distracting myself with where we are in the standings, But I will. They're 2.5 games from being in 9th place, right? So that is a tall task, a tall mountain for them to get back into a competitive conversation. But if I'm them, hey, listen, one game at a time, and if we can get ourselves into a workable scenario going into the All-Star break where we're feeling good about how we're playing, and then we come out of that break and we're still guns blazing, I feel really good about us being disruptive, getting into this playoff scenario. But listen, watching them last night, they look connected. Everybody looked motivated. Everybody looked happy, confident. The young fellas are playing well. Zubac was playing well. John Collins was giving them good minutes. From top to bottom, they just look like a really good basketball team. I hate the fact that they've dug themselves in this hole. But again, put those blinders on and take it one game at a time. It's a lot of basketball still to be played.
Lou mentioned the name, and every time we talk about the Clippers, it's usually Kawhi Leonard being back or James Harden or even Zubac having a big game. John Collins has been unbelievable for them this year. He's shooting 43% from the field and 56%.
Our young guest that's coming on, he's been playing good basketball.
KAWHI's been great. So
very efficient.
They're getting a lot of production elsewhere. They're an older team that's built to win now that got off to a really, really bad start, and now they're starting to put it together. All the Chris Paul stuff, that's just an old memory now. And I feel like since then they have moved forward 14 out of 17. Like, they're starting to peak right now. They're healthy, they're rolling. And again, John Collins, he's been that great kind of stretch 4, small ball 5 guy for them that's really helped them this season. I
agree with both guys. The fact that, they put all the distractions aside, they started the year off really, really rough, really, really slow. So my only concern, obviously they have a tough climb ahead of them. My only concern is, do they exert all their energy in this climb to where, if they do potentially get to the point of being a play-in or playoff team, they kind of, hit that wall as far as, that's my only concern. But, I mean, like, this team was built to win this season. This was a veteran group. They've got some youthfulness in the lineup now, which has helped them tremendously this year. So, I like that they put their head down and like Lou said, they've taken it a game. They've taken it day by day, game at a time. So I think that's the right approach, especially with the start. And we'll see where this goes.
Looking way ahead too, like the Portland Trailblazers and Warriors are the teams that are ahead of them right now in the play-in situation.
They might hit some turbulence.
I think
they might do some favors.
Yeah, I think they're in a better situation. If you look at these standings, I think I like them at least getting to that 7-8 seed and having a chance to get in the playoffs and be disruptive against whoever ends up being the 1 and 2 seed.
If the play-in tournament starts right now, I think they get in.
I think they're in.
Yeah, I think they get in. So
I think they're better than Portland. I think they're better than Golden State, and I think they're going to be right there with 7-8.
Yeah, so they should focus on what is instead of what was, right? Like,
wow.
Yeah, just focus on what is. If we can get into this play-in, we feel like we're better than the other 3 teams that's going to be involved in this scenario, and we're going to work our way into a 7 or 8 spot, and we can be disruptive at the top, and a lot of, like Chandler just said, looking way, way ahead. If you're playing if you're
Clippers,
good,
Spurs, yeah.
All right.
Something's happening to me.
But like a Clippers Spurs matchup, a Clippers OKC matchup. I don't hate it. It's a tall task, but that's looking way ahead. But if I'm them, I'm just gonna continue to keep myself in that position to even be there.
You good, bud?
Yeah, best record since December 20th. Like,
14 and 3 is not a joke.
No, that is good. That is
That's really good.
That if I was anybody. Staying a little bit on the West Coast here, we got a Warriors game we need to address. Back-to-back losses without Jimmy. Najee Marshall finishes with 30. He was 10 of 12, 7 rebounds, 9 assists. Cooper Flagg with 21 and 11. Steph had 38 points, 8 threes.
Not enough.
But again, like the teams,
it's a little too quiet for Steph Curry for me right now.
It's kind of weird. It's Jonathan Kuminga though is the topic because he did get some time last night, but only 9 minutes off the bench before he got hurt, which is so wrong. But in the 2 games since Jimmy got hurt and he has played, he does have 30 points in 30 minutes. And I don't know why I'm starting with you, but I also know why I'm starting with you. Look, we know your feelings towards Steve Kerr, but can't take away that he's had a hell of a legacy as an NBA coach. It's crazy to sort of see this chapter. I don't know how this ends up affecting him because we only remember what just is recent. Mm-hmm. His legacy and this Jonathan Kuminga thing, is that going to turn out horrible?
No. I mean, when it's said and done, Steve Kerr will be remembered for all the positives he's brought to this game, and deservingly so. I don't think this stains. It's obviously a bad look in the moment in time that we're in right now, especially dealing with a young talent in this league. And also, him being able to relate because he was once a former player. So that's why it's more so of a bad look. But as far as his legacy, he's a Hall of Fame coach. He deserves all the credit, all the flowers in the world. But no, I don't think this affects his legacy at all, and it shouldn't.
Yeah, and first of all, I think the injury, I don't think it's serious. I think he wanted to come back in the game last night. He might get an MRI today or whatever, but that's not going to be serious. I think now the power, though, has almost shifted into Kuminga's favor. Like, you go from, getting kind of doghouse to not playing to out of the rotation, DNP, CDs, to Jimmy Butler going down. Now there's this opportunity. You have 30 points in 30 minutes. Last night you have 10 points in 9 minutes. You're plus 18. The team is better, clearly, when you're on the floor. And now you go down with a minor injury. You kind of hold all the cards in your hands if I'm Jonathan Kuminga. And I know that they're shopping him, and everything I'm hearing, there's nothing that's there that's of value, what they think. But at the end of the day, now they need him. Like, it's one thing to have to play him, to want to play him. Now they have to play Jonathan Kuminga. And I don't know if he's going to be available. So, it's not the worst situation for Kuminga now that he showed, I'm professional. I didn't play for over a month, and I came and I played really good in my 2 outings. And now I have this injury. Who knows how long it's going to hurt me until that deadline. That's all I'm saying.
And just so you know, I don't have a problem with Steve Kerr. I'm going to bring awareness to what I think is BS and what's not.
I love it.
But as far, I have respect for Steve as a coach. Don't, let my words, make you think otherwise. I got the ultimate respect, but if it's BS, I'm going to say it's BS.
Nope, I got no, that's what you should do, actually. Mike Dunleavy has basically, we've seen it. There's reluctance to deal future first-round picks unless it's for a high-impact player who right now aligns with their timeline. Here's the problem with that, Chandler. You have Steph freaking Curry on the roster, and he's not getting any younger. How do you feel about that theory?
Well, it's tough because all these older guys that you see now, and you want to maximize that time, and they're not doing that right now. But on the flip side, Kuminga, how sloppy the situation's got, him as an expiring contract, that's more valuable than just going and trading for a player you don't want or that can't help you win right now anyway. So I understand why they're not just rushing and trading because he demanded a trade.
That's fair.
They don't want to just take back a contract or a player they don't want and don't see a future with. So I see both sides. I just feel like this situation has been so mishandled, and I feel like Kuminga has gotten the short end of that stick, and he's been so professional through it that now I don't even know. And now I feel like a bad team's going to want to get him because just everything that, you know what I mean? So I don't think he's going to go to a great situation. He's going to go to a situation where he can probably average 25 points a game and get his game off and get paid. But it's all just kind of a weird situation with him now. And especially with the Warriors, it's uncomfortable. You have a coach that clearly doesn't like you, that doesn't believe in you, and doesn't think you're a fit. But now, due to injuries and your season going south, you have to play him. Like, it's weird. Like, it's a strange situation for him to have to go there to the facility today, knowing that the only reason I'm playing is because the guy ahead of me got hurt and my coach wants no business playing me. That's just it's an awkward situation.
I feel bad for him.
And there's this glooming freaking trade deadline coming up where am I going to be here next week? Am I moving? Am I still is their coach going to be back next year?
Is he hoping he's moving?
Yeah.
Well, the one thing that they have in their favor is this ain't his first rodeo in dealing with this type of energy, right? So at this point, Jonathan Kuminga, as well as the rest of the Warriors, should be used to dealing in this space. This has been a few seasons now where we've been having this conversation going into the deadline. You know, it is a bad break for him to have an ankle injury. I'm sure it's nothing major, but he's playing good basketball. So that should be a positive for Jonathan Kuminga in his future. And if he's going to remain a Warrior, it should be a positive for them as well because they need talent and they need their best players to be on the floor, whether they feel like that's Jonathan Kuminga or not, on a personal level, on a moving forward level. But right now, in this schedule, trying to maximize and talking about aligning timelines and all of those things, Jonathan Kuminga is a player that you need on the floor until you do otherwise.
So if you're Kuminga, you're playing? Like, if you can play, you're playing?
Absolutely.
Till the deadline? Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%. Ooh, a Draymond Green video moment. A flagrant foul was given after this shove to the chest of one Dwight Powell.
Oh, what?
Right there. It was a flagrant foul. There's a lot going on there.
All
right, Boogie, you're laughing, so that's not dirty. I mean, here we go. Anyone? Dirty? No.
Here's the thing.
Draymond told us he's not a dirty
This
player.
is a reputation call.
Yeah.
This is a I'm fed up with you call. It was nothing malicious in this play.
Is Draymond a dirty player? Like, by the way?
I don't think so.
Okay. Is he considered one?
Would I say, this is my first pick?
Wait, hold on.
I wouldn't say he's my first pick to, go up and match up against.
Okay.
It's going to be a rough night, but I don't think anybody goes into the game thinking Draymond is a dirty.
Like he's gonna hurt.
You just know you're gonna have a rough night.
Okay.
that's more so. How you feel about it?
My
CP?
thing with Draymond is like last night, for example. I don't think that was the dirtiest tag. You're taught on the roll to
Dirty.
tag.
That's a
guys
body
like that.
tag.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a dirty play.
You practice that in training camp, and I think Dwight Powell did a great job selling it, and maybe knocked the wind out.
He really did.
Fine, and Dwight Powell's a big, strong guy, so like maybe he just got him in the right spot. I don't know. That wasn't that dirty. It's how he reacts to the referees afterwards. It's how he berates them afterwards. And then like 2 plays later, he kind of wrapped up Max Christie and fouled the shit out of him too. And then goes right back to the same ref and tells him to review that one too. It's almost like that's the type of stuff that on a personality level that's just gonna piss off these referees and make them not like you and make them not give you the call. So I had no problem with the tag. Was it dirty? No. Has he done some dirty stuff in his career? No doubt.
Okay.
Like Sabonis stomp, that kind of stuff. Like that stuff. But like, I don't think he's the dirtiest player, and I don't think either of these plays are dirty. It's the reaction and the tone and the delivery that he has towards the referees that would drive me nuts if I was a ref.
It's just that every generation there's give you 3 names of players that are considered dirty, and I just wonder when it's all said and done and we look back, will Draymond Green be considered a? Like,
I don't even know.
Player?
Like Dylan Brooks, I don't even think he's dirty. I just think he's just like scrappy and tough and like.
Yeah, I don't really see a lot of
dirty to me means
players.
I'm trying to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
There's not a lot of dirty players in the game today.
Okay.
Not back in the day. That's
like Bill Laimbeer was dirty.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, that's fair. That's what I was wondering. We're going to take a very quick break. On the other side, our buddy, our pal, Sam AMICK.
Toucan.
Is back. Yeah, we just call him Toucan now. He loves it, I'm sure. We'll be back.
Run it up, run it back.
Oh, I love when Sam AMICK's back, by the way. Senior writer for The Athletic. He is here. Sam,
we gotta get Sam a highlight
day.
tape when he gets on here.
I know. We need it's kind of rude that we don't have a hype tape for you
Come
by
on,
now.
Sam.
By the way, before we get to all things current right now, we just ended the last segment talking about dirty players. Every generation's had their own list. Like, today, if we make a list today, Draymond's on it, right?
You didn't like the answer you got, Michelle, so you're just coming to me with it.
That's exactly what he said.
No, don't tell my secrets. Don't tell.
No, I'm with the guys. I mean, he's tough as nails. Chandler's dead on about the way he handles the refs. I mean, that part, that secondary play last night was just like, because that's Draymond not being able to let it go, and so somebody else bears the brunt of that. But if I'm being real, like Dylan's had some dirty plays. Does that mean his career, he's defined as a dirty player? No, but you guys had me thinking about the Gary Payton, dunk when he broke his arm, I think it was, when he was up, going for the dunk. And there's been a lot of moments like that with Dylan. But no, I don't have Draymond.
Oh, I got a good dirty player.
Talk to me.
Grayson Allen. He's throwing some
It's
jabs
been a
in
while.
there.
It's been a while.
He's been quiet, but yes, the beginning was
I don't think
very
Grayson's
doozy
dirty.
in the beginning.
It's the undercutting.
I got an old school dirty player.
Here we go.
He's actually the GM of the Warriors.
Mike Dunleavy?
Dirty as hell.
Really? I split him one time.
Yeah, he's a dirty player.
Sam,
for sure.
you're
You're a
coming on
dirty
a great
player,
day.
too.
This is what we're going to talk about the whole time. Okay, that's interesting. 5 years from now, we'll check back in and see what the list looks like. But we are going to start in the Bay because we got to talk Jonathan Kuminga. First of all, any updates that you
And don't react like Coach Kerr when we ask you a Kuminga question.
I know.
Say it again. Don't do what now?
Don't act like Coach Kerr. Don't react like Coach Kerr when we ask you a Kuminga question, though.
What did I saw? Quick context. What did I miss there? What was his reaction?
They asked him a question. He was just like, "Oh, surprise, surprise!" Another Kuminga
Oh
question.
yeah. Okay,
Like,
I'm with
over
you.
it.
Yeah.
that's the story.
No, yeah, that is a story. They're exhausted by it. It's funny. I mean, to tie that in to DeMarcus's point about dirty players. I mean, Mike gives a dirty press conference. You know what I mean? Like that bar that he had on Kuminga the other day kind of told you everything about the mood on both sides. No change in the situation in terms of what I'm aware of. It is awkward. It is uncomfortable. Watching last night, Jonathan, man, he not only was playing well, but that one lob dunk that he had just kind of reminded you that he's a guy that just jumps off the page athletically. And so then he turns the ankle. He steals the little girl's seat and he sits down and tries to collect himself. I don't know. They need him now. I would, we'll see what happens, but I would be surprised if he moves anytime soon. And what I'm starting to think, everybody, is that they're so desperate to do something big, and Jonathan would still be important if they were able to do something big, not necessarily before the deadline, but even down the road. That it does make me wonder if this thing ends up extending, because right now some of the names and the options that you hear tied to the Warriors, they just don't move the needle in any sort of way that's close to a Jimmy Butler to actually, the goal is to get number 30 back into contention, right? Like that's what you're trying to do. And that gap is so big that I could see them being even more patient now.
Yeah. Sam, if Kuminga was to remain after the deadline, how do you see him and Steve Kerr working?
Boogie, I think it's just, they make it work. I've talked to Jonathan about Steve. I've talked to Steve about Jonathan. Do I think they hate each other? That's a really strong word. No, but they don't like each other's styles. And I think that, one guy's getting paid $22.5 million to do a job. I forget Steve's number, but I believe he's the highest paid coach in the NBA. I think they just got to lock in and do the work because it's mutually beneficial. Now, Steve's thing is a little different. He's got no contract after this season. A lot of questions about what his plans are. But if you're Jonathan, I heard you guys were talking about, do you play through the end of the season? Do you play through the deadline? Like, of course you do. He's too young. He's been on the shelf for too long. It's even just for himself. He's got to keep developing. And the only thing I've been thinking about this week, and maybe I'm being a little too tough on him, I almost look back at last summer. There were opportunities for Jonathan to go to the Kings on a lesser deal, maybe make about $15 million a year instead of 23, 24. And him and his agent, Aaron Turner, they were really stubborn, saying, no, this is his market. And I know demand and market, that's the buzzword of the week. And they just didn't like what they saw in the market. And so they took this deal where you knew you were going back to a team that didn't like you. And in that regard, it's just unfortunate.
You cannot like me for
It's
Can't leave money on the table.
It's banks everywhere, Sam. We got
That's a big one, though, Sam.
That's a big gap.
Absolutely.
Sam, the reality.
We're like, you can hate me for $8 million more. I don't care.
That's fine. I'll take those $8 million right to the bank, and you can still not play this game. No problem. Been there before. The reality is, Sam, even before Jimmy's injury, the Warriors were pretty average this season. And now there's talks, is there a world in which Steph Curry's not possibly a Warrior? Does he ask out? Do they let him, decide to mutually let him go shop? Like, how does that situation finally
No, I don't
finish?
see it.
No shot.
It's funny because it's like, yeah, exactly. It's no shot. It's a question that, like, A, is fair, but B, it gets asked outside of the Bay and outside of Northern California a whole lot more than it gets asked here. You know what I mean? Because there's just an energy here where it's like, first of all, Steph has never sent any signals that he has any intention of anything other than finishing with the Warriors. He still has good relationships with Joe Lacob and Mike Dunleavy and staff. He still has a level of belief, I think, in them. It's pro sports, so never say never. The other part of that is that, basketball is obviously Steph's priority, but he built up this empire where, in terms of his post-playing career, and I think the way that he would like the optics to be, I think he wants to own that all the way through the end. Forbes came out recently with the valuations of franchises, and that man almost on his own has put them up there with the Cowboys and the biggest brands in pro sports. So I think it's even a little bit bigger than can they contend for a title.
Assuming also he'd want to finish this thing with Kerr as the coach too.
That part's to be determined. It's interesting. I tried to push a few weeks back on the question of, do we have any clarity here on what Steve's going to do? What Joe Lacob wants to do. Was told in no uncertain terms that that's not going to be discussed and handled until the off season. And then we've had rumors on both sides. Not too long ago, there was some kind of chatter around the coaching staff that, maybe there was going to be an extension coming down the line. And then this week, one of my friends and colleagues from The Ringer, Logan Murdoch, had a piece that talked about how Warriors assistant coaches were kind of quietly planning for their next stop in anticipation of Steve not being back. And, that doesn't mean that's what's going to happen, but those are the types of breadcrumbs that sometimes end up telling you where it's going. So we'll see.
Talk a little Giannis here. We all heard him. We all saw him Wednesday night. He seemed very, very sad and was calling out teammates. So we're sort of hitting all the different chapters of a breakup. I'm never leaving. I don't know if I'll still be here. Everything he told you. So how are you feeling now as we get closer and closer to the trade deadline and we see him so kind of out?
Yeah, it's admittedly, it's been a funny experience because we have that discussion and he he's deliberate and he's direct and he's got his messaging down, and we cleared up some things. And then, man, he's just been on a heater ever since. You know, he gets booed by the fans and then he boos them back. So now you got the negativity is swinging in that direction. You know, you have frustration with this team, and he's being pretty vocal about that. He's not getting as many shots as he's used to, and he's being pretty diplomatic about it. But like, there's some very real basketball stuff happening right now that's pretty puzzling. I don't blame him for being frustrated. So I don't know. I mean, it does, you know, it feels like, you know, we're getting close to the perfect recipe for maybe everything he said, you know, not happening, if that makes sense, because it's not just the level of angst and discontent with him and the Bucks. You know, at the same time, some of the different teams that could potentially be in the running, you know, their circumstances have changed. I don't necessarily see, for example, a Knicks deal happening, but like when you see the Knicks lose 9 out of 12, then naturally you start going, oh boy, like, is James Dolan gonna say, all right, forget about this current crew, let's go for the big fella in Milwaukee? You know, Miami signaling that they're not gonna pursue Ja Morant shows you that they still have some level of hope when it comes to Giannis. I mean, and even the Warriors, I mean, that's their white whale is Giannis. That's their dream target. And so we'll see where that one goes.
Yeah. Sam, let's say they don't trade Giannis, and the Bucks are buyers at the deadline. And we've seen them in previous years. They brought in Drew Holiday at the deadline, brought in a Dame Lillard at the deadline. What are some options out there for them if they continue to move forward with him?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're tied to more players than anybody out there. So on the one hand, you have this like perception of aggressiveness, but we also haven't had any indication that like there's real progress on any deal. So a couple names, Lou, you're talking about Zach LaVine, Malik Monk in my neck of the woods. They've been tied to them, and they've done some research, and you can tell that they've been thinking about that. I'm not sure the extent of those conversations, but Zach's got huge money. Malik is less money, but a couple of years. The one I wrote about today that is a pretty interesting one is Miles Bridges. But, you know, Charlotte wants a lot for him, a first, maybe even 2 firsts, and they don't want Kyle Kuzma. So that is certainly an obstacle. You know, you've heard them tied to Michael Porter Jr. You know, I think they just know that they need some sort of roster injection. So we'll see, you know, what other names come up.
Got to talk a little bit about the Baxter Holmes article. It's the entire article is about the Buss family drama, but no one seems to care about that. We just want to talk about LeBron and everything that sort of came out of the article on that. I know he said he doesn't care, and you know he was accused of having a quote outsized ego, at least by Jeannie Buss. Quietly though, is this enough for him to think, you know what, I'm out of here. I'm going to go somewhere else? Do you think that would push him in any direction?
I don't know. I tend to think that he knew all this already. You know what I mean? Like, does it change it when it's louder? Maybe. You know, it's an annoyance. It's an irritation. As a side note, I did find it funny. You know, I had, it was just over text, but I had used a quote from Jeannie Buss in response to that article where she, you know, wanted to clarify that she did appreciate everything LeBron had done. I did laugh. A lot of readers and fans were like, oh, so, you know, there's zero denial about all of the family drama, you know?
Oh, for sure.
But the LeBron thing has been, you know, I've written several times. I've described it like a marriage of convenience between him and the Lakers. He loves the market. His family's very comfortable. They won the title in 2020. You know, the kind of the thing that's like an open secret about his dynamic in LA with the Lakers is that, of course, he wants to continue winning and he would love to win another chip. But once he got that title in 2020, there was a sense that he had, you know, mission accomplished type of thing. And so from there, it become, you know, last summer, it was really obvious that the two parties were not in a great place. When you don't offer a guy who's in the conversation for greatest player of all time any sort of extension, he had the option. They basically waited to see, do you want to pick up the option? And they didn't offer anything contract-wise. That told you everything you needed to know, that it was Luka's team now and that they were not interested in retaining, you know, LeBron's $50 million salary slot. So that's another one where very interesting next few months. Is he going to hang it up? Is he going to look for another place? But I don't think anything's going to happen before the deadline.
Man, the game within the game. Sam, as always, we appreciate you. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Sam.
We'll talk soon.
Thanks, guys. See you soon. Yep.
On the other side, Kobe Sanders joins the show. There he is. We'll be right back.
Running back, yeah. run it up, run it back.
Another round, move around, I'm a shooter.
The rookie delivers again. Sanders. What a shot!
I'ma take my shot, cause I'ma get the job done. Get the job done.
Love to see it. Love to have you on, Kobe. Welcome. Kobe
early,
Sanders.
too.
I appreciate the little highlight, man. I appreciate the highlight.
We love a good hype video.
Done.
By the way, yeah, thank you. It is bright and early. You guys got a nice win last night. Maybe that helped you get up a little bit this morning. I got to ask you, we talked about it beginning of the show, best record in the league since December 20th. Talk to me about vibes in the rooms right now.
Definitely a lot better than how we started, but the main thing is our leadership. I think they've done a great job of trying to make sure we keep our heads down and try to stay focused. I think not exactly how we wanted to start, but from there we were able to put our heads down, block out the drama, block out the outside noise, and really focus in on us and taking one game at a time and, just walk everybody down.
I mean, it's kind of crazy as a rookie. You've sort of already had a heck of a roller coaster season already. We're not even really halfway. I guess we're halfway. What's it been like jumping from, college into this league?
Definitely a lot of emotions. I think it's been a roller coaster so far. Coming in, as a two-way 50th pick, you don't know exactly where your role is going to be. You just got to stay ready and just I've been blessed with a lot of opportunity and, just trying to keep my head down and keep working.
Yeah, Kobe, coming into the season, man, and you look at that roster with James Harden, KAWHI, Brad Beal, and Chris Paul, and all of these guys in the preseason, and you've been a bright spot for this group. Did you ever think in your wildest dreams you'll have an opportunity to start on this basketball team and play the way that you've been playing?
It's definitely been a blessing and surprise for, I think, everybody. I think if you asked me 6 months ago, I wouldn't say I was here. And if you asked me 2 years ago, I definitely wouldn't say I was here. So it's definitely been a blessing for me and just a humbling moment. Just stay focused and, with all these great vets and these older players around me, just trying to learn and be a sponge and soak up all the information I can.
Yeah, Kobe, having James there every day and KAWHI, you've obviously seen greatness firsthand. The Western Conference is loaded with guards. Who's been like that toughest matchup for you, obviously, in your early career?
I think we got to say Luka. I think we got to say what was last night. I think just with how the league is going and how you can't really be as physical as you want with some guys, and just the talent of him being able to score at all three levels and be able to draw fouls and still create for others. It's kind of a tough matchup for anybody.
We like to ask rookies, like, their coming to the league moment, or was there ever a moment where you're like, damn, like starstruck? I remember I had mine when I saw Tim Duncan for the first time. Like, was there a moment for you that you're like, wow, this is real, this is happening?
I think I got to go back to training camp. I think the first day of training camp, it was normal. I think nothing too crazy. But the second unit kind of really got at our first unit. And the next day, James and KAWHI came in blazing, and I think they beat this second unit by probably 30 in about 15 minutes. And I was like, oh, this is different.
I guess when you walk into a camp with CP and KAWHI and James, it's hard to get starstruck by anyone else.
Right.
Absolutely.
100%.
Cole, I want you to take a look, man. Arguably, your best game of the season came against Steph Curry and the Warriors. What was this night like for you, man? When you're fading right, I go left. I like that right.
Oh, come back here.
You got all of it. But what was this night like? Walk me through this night.
I think just knowing with James out, got to step into a little bit of a bigger role and just staying focused on the game plan, knowing that it's going to be a defensive night first. With Steph Curry on the other side, you got to lock in defensively and then let everything else come to me. So I was blessed to start hot and then just was able to go with the momentum.
Getting straight to your spot. Jeez.
Yeah, he is. I'm a fan of the big guard. You're a big guard yourself. Is it a player that you've modeled your game after?
I think it's just a little bit of everything. I mean, obviously a lot of KD. Currently, you just take a little bit from each and every player. I think I've watched a lot of D-Book just about how he gets to his spot. So it's been a lot of mix of different players. And, my dad's favorite player is Magic Johnson. So I kind of had to grow up being a guard.
The rookie stuff behind the scenes, whether it be pranks or things that vets have made you go and do, can you give us any?
I think the one that stands out to me is we was on the road. We were going to leave we had a little practice day, and we're going to leave, and Kawhi tapped me on the shoulder and said, I need some headphones. So I had to find out how to get some headphones with only like 30 minutes left before we hit the bus. So.
And?
Did you get them?
You got them?
Of course. I got him 2 pairs. I got him 2 pairs. Make sure
on his card.
That's a good look. That's a good look.
Look, I want you to take a look at this. I want to ask you about this signature move right here that everybody was going crazy about. Oh my God. What is that? Like the step, that's your go-to? That's the one we gonna make the money on?
I think I make my money in my mid-range, so
yes,
just trying to find different ways to score out of the mid-range, and using pump fakes, pivots, and everything is where I feel most comfortable.
Crafty move. Also, earlier this season, you took a charge on LeBron James, which is not the easiest thing to do. What were you? First of all, those courts are god awful. But what were you thinking here?
Just anything to get the dub. Anything to get the dub.
And are you still sore?
For sure. Still feel it today. I think when LeBron's coming full speed, a lot of people would think, oh, move out the way. But you got to do whatever it takes to get the win and, put your body on the line.
That is an awesome slow-mo video. All right, so the season starts 6-21. Ty Lue says, you guys, we need you to go on a 35-20 run here on out. 14-3, by the way. But when he said it, did y'all think that sounds crazy or okay, cool, doable?
I think we all knew in the locker room the start wasn't what we were and what we believed ourselves to be. And I think just with a lot of vet guys in the locker room and, now with the little young surge that we're going on recently, I think we all knew and believed in ourselves and think that we had to put our best foot forward going forward, and we kind of just put our head down and leaned on our vets to, lead us and put us in the right position.
What's been the biggest difference with the turnaround?
I think it's just been the leadership. I think early on we didn't really know our footing, didn't really know ourselves, and we got a couple tough breaks, and just the leaders staying on us and, just developing that chemistry. I think we got a lot of great players. We have James, we have Kawhi, but, the surgence of John Collins, we know what Zoo's going to give us. Brooks had some very big games. So just leaning on everybody and knowing that it's been the next man up. We dealt with some injuries and just trying to overcome them.
I know during that stretch when you guys were struggling a little bit trying to find your footing, T. Lue could be a laid-back coach. He coached me as well. He can kind of be laid back, don't really raise his voice. But during that stretch, did he get a little loud? Did he get a little crazy with y'all?
He definitely, showed us a little different side of him. But, him, he's going to stay level-headed. He's going to always be an optimist. So he's telling us to stay down, stay focused. He knows it's going to turn around and it's a long season. So he wasn't doing too much, but he definitely was putting the pressure on us.
That's a fact.
Hey, Kobe, I want to ask you, when the Chris Paul news dropped, obviously we were all stunned by that. Now, as a rookie, do you remember where you were, or if this was going to happen, or what was your just general reaction to that?
I woke up. It was 6 in the morning. I looked at my phone. My phone was blowing up. A lot of text messages. I thought I was the one getting sent home, so I had to go check real quick. And just seeing something like that is really a weird situation, but it's something you can't control. So you just gotta stay focused, stay down, and let everything else handle itself. I think everybody knows what their job, and I just stay focused on mine.
Stay in the league long enough, you'll keep seeing some weird stuff.
I mean, you know what? I am curious, though, about sort of your thoughts, because he had just come from San Antonio, notoriously young team, seemed like everything went very smoothly. As a rookie, we heard the stories sometimes he gets on people's nerves and he can be a lot. But did you feel that as a rookie on the team?
I feel like he was good to me. I don't have nothing against him. I don't really want to get into all the issues, but I felt like he was good to me. I had a good relationship with him, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Good answer, sir. Good answer. Yeah, well done.
So, hey, you got some good media training.
You paid attention at RTP.
To a good start.
So I played with your teammate, James Harden in Houston, and I want you to tread lightly with this answer.
You just heard how he answered that.
If he didn't answer the last question.
I know, I just wanted to tread light. Don't get too comfortable.
Of course.
But have you ever had a chance to, party with James, or have you heard any crazy party stories?
Yes.
So
The answer is yes, but I'm not saying
Red light
yes.
is classified.
We focus on the season right now.
that's what I like.
In the summer. In the summer.
done.
Next season, tell us about the summer
Next
nights.
contract.
Yeah.
Next contract.
We'll get you back on. Kobe, this has been awesome, man. Good luck. You guys are crushing it. Keep doing that.
Good luck,
Thank
Kobe.
you so
Good luck,
much. I
dog.
appreciate y'all.
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate y'all.
We'll be back.
Run it back, run it up, run it back.
And we're back. Rockets, Sixers. That was quick. Okay, here we go. This was an overtime game, guys.
This is a great game.
It was an overtime game. It was a great game. 128-122. Sixers win. All-star Tyrese Maxey, 36. Joel Embiid, 32, 10 and 19, 11 and 12 from the free throw line. 15 rebounds, 10 assists, 2 blocks, and that's right. I'm reading that whole line from Mr. Joel Embiid. First triple-double this season.
Get off that rim, Maxey.
By the way, 46 minutes, game high, played by Mr. Joel Embiid. Now, considering
triple-double.
everything we know, Chandler, how are we feeling about this?
I love it.
move?
I love to see him on the floor. I love to see him playing big minutes. I'd love to know how he feels today and if he's going to be able to bounce back. But this is a huge positive for him, where he's at in his career, where they're at in this season. This is great. You see Paul George being productive. You see this team kind of starting to put together some wins. This is awesome to see him back to that dominating force. He would miss a couple shots in a row last night, and then he would just make it a point to get downhill, get to the rim, and just overpower and use that dominating MVP type force that he did in that season. So I'm stoked for the big fella. I hope he's feeling great today, because 46 minutes is a lot, but this was awesome.
Game
This
high
is a hell of a
46,
game.
y'all.
Game high? I don't know
Game
if you
high.
ever played the game high minutes. That's
I don't.
a crazy stat.
Are you a little shocked? Are you?
No, I wouldn't say shocked, but I'm extremely happy for the big fella.
Cool.
I'm glad to see him getting his feet back underneath him, getting back to his dominant ways, and hopefully this is a sign of health in the moment and for the future. He's a valuable part of this game. Obviously very valuable for this Sixers organization, and on top of all that, him being healthy actually gives them a real legit chance in this Eastern Conference. And just seeing how everything's coming together at this point in the season, I'm sure, Embiid and everybody in that locker room is really happy with where things are going right now.
We might be looking at a resurgence, fellas.
I mean, that's a
We
crazy.
might be looking at a resurgence with everything that Tyrese Maxey has been able to do. If they can get Joel Embiid to bottle this up for the remainder of this season, it's going to get interesting in the East for sure.
Well, can I ask you this, Luke, sticking with sort of that idea, and knock on all the wood, whatever it is you do for luck, because provided he stays healthy, and we know the playoff schedule and how it is, I don't know, back-to-backs, none of that stuff. So, yeah, legitimately.
That's what I'm saying. Good energy in the air on this Good Friday. He's going to stay healthy. He's going to be healthy and available. They're going to be a scary out for a lot of teams, man. So if they can continue on this, and especially Joel Embiid and him and Maxey can be that 1-2 punch that they envision them to be when they put these guys together, and then you throw in the Paul George and the rest of those guys, it's going to be a scary out.
And don't forget,
shout out to South Philly.
Shout out.
Jared McCain. This guy was
Never forget.
unreal. He's been through some injuries. He's struggled this year, but he's not even close to being back to full strength. So this team, they got help on the way, and they're healthy, and the big fella and Paul George are back.
Oh, my goodness.
I like-
In a wide open East.
I like the way the East is shaping up. I mean, we got Jason Tatum on the way back as well, so it's going to get really interesting in the East.
Let's see.
7 seconds.
Have a good weekend.
Happy Friday.
You know what? You guys have
Everybody
a good
have a
weekend.
wonderful
everybody
weekend.
and stay
Have a
safe
safe
in the
flight.
snow out there,
Take a
guys.
shot
Be
for me.
safe.